My neighbor treated my driveway like free parking, so I called the tow truck. I live in a small cul-de-sac, nothing fancy, just your average neighborhood. My driveway fits 2 cars perfectly, mine and my husband's. For the most part, everyone here minds their own business and respects each other's property, except my neighbor. For whatever reason, he thinks my driveway is like extra parking for his family and friends. The first time it happened, I thought it was just a mistake. His brother's car was sitting there, and when I asked about it, he said it would just be a second. A week later, it was some friend of his dropping something off. I didn't love it, but I figured whatever. It's not worth making things awkward with the neighbors over one incident. But it kept happening. I'd come home from work, and I'm a nurse, so some days I'm completely wiped out, and there would be a random car blocking my driveway. One night, I literally had to park halfway down the street and carry 5 bags of groceries because his buddy's truck was taking up my spot. Every time I said something, he'd give me this dismissive half smile and go, "Oh yeah, sorry, they'll be gone soon." Like I was the one being difficult for wanting to park in my own driveway. The final straw came on a Friday night after I'd just finished a 12-hour shift. I was still in my scrubs, absolutely starving, with takeout getting cold in the passenger seat. I turned into my street, ready to finally get home and collapse. There was a giant white SUV parked dead center in my driveway, not even off to the side where I might be able to squeeze around it, full on blocking me from even pulling in. I knocked on his door, no answer. I called him, and he finally picked up with this super casual tone. "Oh yeah, that's my in-laws. They'll only be there a couple hours. Just park on the street. It's not a big deal." That was it for me. I'd had enough of being treated like my own property was somehow communal parking. I called a tow truck. And yes, I checked beforehand. Where I live, if someone blocks your private driveway, you're legally allowed to have them towed immediately. No warning required. The tow truck driver showed up within 20 minutes. The SUV was hooked up and gone before I even finished half my fries. About an hour later, there was furious pounding on my door. My neighbor was standing there beet red, his in-laws were yelling in the background, and he was going off about how I didn't have to take it that far. I looked at him calmly and said, "You told me it wasn't a big deal," so I treated it like it wasn't a big deal. Then I closed the door. They had to pay almost $300 to get their car back from the tow lot. $300 for what he kept insisting was no big deal. And here's the beautiful part. Ever since then, my driveway has stayed crystal clear, not even for just a second. Apparently, expensive lessons are the most effective kind. Sometimes people need to experience real consequences before they understand that their convenience shouldn't come at someone else's expense. My neighbor learned that my driveway isn't community property, and I learned that sometimes you have to stop being polite and start being firm. The whole situation could have been avoided if he'd just respected basic boundaries from the beginning. But since he chose to treat my repeated requests as suggestions, I let the tow truck driver do the talking instead.